Alright, ladies and programmers, we're going to do lesson 4.5, gravity. Let's get started. I guess we need to talk we need to talk about how to do gravity, what it's going to look like. Really, what's going to happen is our guy is going to fall, and if you noticed, he started off slowly and got faster and faster and faster, because that's how gravity actually works in real life. Okay, so here's a question. Would you rather be hit by a billiard ball drop from 1 foot, or a billiard ball, which is the same as a pool ball, drop from 100 feet, and why? Answer those questions in your notes. All right, who's this guy? This guy's Sir Isaac Newton. He was pretty humble, but the guy was pretty much a stud. He was a genius. He figured out some of this stuff, 1, 2, 3, which we don't care about. These are his laws of motion. By the way, the things he figured out, he invented calculus, and he figured out gravity, and he figured out physics, and he was born like 200 years ago, and they used all his stuff. They only pretty much used his equations to get to the moon and back. So pretty cool. But anyway, here's what he knew. He said objects fall towards Earth because of a force called gravity, and he measured that the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meters per second. So what does that mean to us? It means if you were to drop that bowling ball, at first while the guy's holding it, is going 0 meters per second, and then after 1 second, it is increased in speed to 9.8 meters per second. After 2 seconds, it's 9.8 plus 9.8, 19.6 meters per second, and then so on and so forth. It keeps accelerating and accelerating. After 10 seconds, its velocity is 98 meters per second, or about 219 miles per hour, which would hurt you if it hit. And that's the answer to our question. Now, here's another thing. Let's say somebody has a gun, and they fire that gun, and at the exact same time, somebody drops a bullet. Well, which one strikes the ground first, the bullet that is dropped or the bullet that is fired? And in order to figure that out, we're going to watch this here video. So let's take a look at this video and see what it's going to show us. Let's run it. Okay, this guy's setting up El Machino. He's putting a billiard ball on El Machino, and then he's going to drop that billiard ball. Very impressive machine. Okay, now he is going. I'm going to build these, by the way. Now that he shot the billiard ball, and now watch what happens. Now he's going to shoot and drop the billiard ball on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And they both hit at the exact same time, just as would the bullets. So everything, whether it's moving or not, accelerates down at the same amount. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to fake gravity. Obviously, there's no real gravity on the computer screen, so we're going to fake it, but in the same way as real gravity, we're going to have our guys increase in speed a particular amount each second. What are the differences between real life and what you're going to do? The gravity, we measure it in seconds. How many meters per second? It's 9.8, right? But we don't deal in seconds so much on Greenfoot, because you can adjust the speed, right? So what am I telling you? Look, so we can't really figure things out in seconds because we can make it go faster and slower. Also, this thing's not measured in meters, so it doesn't work. But on the other hand, when you get into the advanced class, Unity actually does work in seconds, and it does everything. The worlds are built in meters, so we actually would have things drop 9.8 meters per second. All right, so let's take a look. So let's take a look at our instance variables that we're going to use for this thing. Okay, so my good guy's name is Nacho. You're going to have a different name, but here's what we have. We have V speed. This is how fast the guy is actually falling. Okay, we have gravity. So this should be, if this is the real world, this would be 9.8, but because it's not the real world, I chose this, and I've 0.5, so he's going to speed up 0.5 every time the act method hits. So he's going to start off first act 0, and then the V speed's going to be 0.5, then the V speed's going to be 1, then the V speed's going to be 1.5, so it's going to speed up a little bit each time. Okay, we're not going to jump until next session, but there's his jumping. This is how fast he's moving right and left. Inertia is, we don't need that, but here's the terminal velocity. Like if you dropped a bowling ball, eventually the wind, the friction from the fluid friction from the air would slow it. It wouldn't allow it to go any faster, right? So for my guy, I said, all right, the fastest he can fall is 55. So we don't want him to keep going faster and faster and faster. There would be a limit to how fast he'd fall. All right, so there's our instance variables. Hopefully you have those. Okay, now look, we're going to make this method called check fall. That's the first method we're going to make, right? And basically it says this: hey, are you on a platform? And this guy is indeed on the platform, right? He's touching the platform. Okay, and then it asks the question, hey, were you just, so you're kind of now touching the platform, were you just falling? And if the answer is yes, then hey, stop falling. Don't, you're not, you know, you can't, you know, he can go through this thing on the computer, but we're saying, let's pretend like it's solid ground. You can't stop falling, don't go through it anymore. And then, and the next thing is like, hey, you're no longer jumping or falling. We got a little boolean flag, and let's go. So we'll start over. Hey, are you on the platform? No. Okay, well, what should we do? We should accelerate downward. So we should go faster, 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 faster. So that's what it's going to look like. Let's go and find this. Okay, so here's my act method. You can copy some of this down if you want, but there's check fall. I'm going to select it and press Control F, and then there is the method definition. So here's what it looks like in real life. Hey, are you on the platform? Right? We need, so that we're going to end up having to go ahead and take a second and copy this down. Right? There is the method. You're going to copy it down, but you're going to get some errors because we got to do this. All right, so hey, are you on the platform? If you're currently jumping, you were jumping, then move to platform. Okay, we're going to have to look at that method. Now your v-speed is 0. You're no longer falling. And then currently jumping equals false. Okay, and then if you're not falling, go ahead and we need to fall. Okay, so now let's take the first one. Let's look at on platform. So we're going to press Control and F, and it's not here, right? So okay, well, it must be somewhere, right? Where is it going to be? Well, it's going to be in the super class. So we need to look in jumper because my good guy is a subclass of jumper. So we're going to look to the jumper to find this. Okay, so we want to find on platform. There it is. So let's look at how this works. Okay, so take a second and copy this down. Again, we're in the jumper, and we're doing on platform. Okay, so public boolean on platform is basically a question. Hey, are you on the platform or not? Okay, so if it's a boolean, it has to return true or false. So you notice return false, return true. Look, so here's the question. So we say, hey, actor platform. So we have a little variable, a little box called platform, and now we're going to stick something into it. We're going to get one object at offset. That means we need to get somebody who's a little bit far away. So let's go back over here. So I'm going to hit escape on this and go back. Hold on. Come on. Okay, so we're saying, hey, I want to find a platform, right? But whenever you search, your guy searches from right at the very center of your guy. Okay, so let's go back and take a look. So if you look, it's like, oh, even if he's on the platform, if it's looking right at the center, it's going to say, oh, he's not on the platform. So we have to go not from the center of our guy, but we have to go halfway down. All right, so let's go back. So let's look at our at offset method. So actor platform, get one object at offset. So 0, so it's like we don't care, we don't want to, at offsets meaning look for a object that's down or left or right or up, right? We don't care about going left or right, but we do need to go down, right? Like I said, we don't want to find here, we want to find an object at the offset right down there, right? So we've got to figure out that amount. So what are we going to do? We're going to get our good guy's image, we're going to find his height, and we're going to divide that by 2. Okay, so basically we say, hey, find an object. We don't go left or right. So right here, but then we're going to get this guy's height, divide it by 2. So we're going to go down that amount, and we're going to look down. So right now this guy wouldn't be touching a guy, but now, okay, he's touching the guy. So let's see what we do. Okay, so now we're going to say if the platform is equal to null, so there's no platforms, then return false. Are you on the platform? No. Otherwise, if the platform is not null, so if you just touched a platform, return true. So there's that code. So let's go back to so that's how you do on platform. Okay, let's go back to our code and see what's next. Let's go back to our code and see what's next. Here we go. Okay, so now what's up next? What's next? Oh, that's what I just did. Let's go to the next thing. Hold on. I'm struggling here. Okay, so here we are. We're back at check file. Okay, so the next thing we have is, hey, are you on the platform? We just figured that out. Hey, are you currently jumping? Now, what's this? This is a Boolean instance variable. So you're going to have something like public Boolean currently jumping equals false up at the very top. If you don't have that, you can ask me and I'll help you do it. Okay, so hey, were you just falling? Then we have this thing called moved platform. All right, let's take basically here's the thing. Here's how moved platform works. So your guy, he's falling. He falls a little bit more, a little bit more. He might end up like right there when he like he might have been here, and then the next step move right there. Well, we don't want him to leave there. So if he senses, oh, ooh, I just hit a platform, we want to move him back up real quick. You won't even see it happen. But if you don't do this, you'll get your guy stuck down there. All right, so let's find move platform. You could put move to platform in the jumper, or you can put it in here. So I'm going to go next. Here it is. I have mine and my good guy. Here's what you're going to do for move to platform. You can. Ooh, I better make sure you can see it. Okay, so act your platform. So basically getting the same. Here's the same code. We want to get the platform that's below us. Um, so here's the ground height. We're getting the height of. We're basically getting the location of the top of the ground, and then we're saying, hey, here's our new y. So like let's say, so we were here. We want to change the new y to up here, so we're finding that y location, and then we're going to set the location to your current x and the new y. Okay, if you don't understand it, ask me, and I'll help you. Okay, so now we have to go back up to our I can't even remember, check fall. Okay, so if he was jumping, he just hit a platform, we're going to move him up. Now look, v speed is 0. That means how fast are you moving up or down? You're not moving up. It's 0. You're not moving up and down. And then here's a Boolean flag. Hey, we just hit the ground. We're not falling anymore or jumping anymore. So jumping equals false. Okay, so by the way, so we have this whole thing. Hey, are you on a platform? Yes. Then stop falling. Hey, are you on a platform? No. Okay, well then if you're not on a platform, you're going to fall. Okay, so let's find out. Let's see if fall is here or if it's in the... So I'm going to hit F and hit next. Okay, so apparently I don't have... Oh, there it is, public void fall. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to say, hey, should I be falling? No, you're on a platform. Or should I be falling? Yes, you should be falling. And then it says fall. Okay, so now set location, our current X, then our current Y plus v speed. By the way, this right here converts it from a Boolean, a decimal, into an integer, which is what it needs. You can only set the location to an integer, so that's why I'm converting our variable to a integer. If that doesn't make sense to you, why I'm doing it that way, ask me and I'll explain it to you. It's a little advanced, but anyway, I'll explain it to you. All right, so now here we go. So if the v speed is less than the max acceleration, so if you haven't hit terminal velocity yet, then your falling speed equals the current falling speed plus gravity. So every time you're falling, it's going to go faster and faster and faster and faster. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to our thingamajigger. Let's see if there's anything else. No, that's it. Okay, so that's how gravity works. Let's see if I have anything else for you on my spiel. Nope, I don't. We're just going to go. Next thing is we're going to learn how to jump. Jumping is basically we're reversing gravity.